So welcome to the node.js package maintenance team meeting for April 22nd, 2021. We'll follow the issue that was created in the repository, which is issue number 460. Before we get started, any announcements that people would like to share?
Good.
Okay, so no announcements this week. Okay, so let's move on to the first issue, which is tagged, which is 458, which is the status and update for next steps for PKGS create. So now I know last time we talked, RX Marbles had, so Rick had agreed to reach out to Wes and do some sort of knowledge transfer handover in terms of getting stuff out. He did provide an update on the issue itself, that they met and talked about some of the projects and its status, and he's setting up a project board, which is linked in the issue. And I guess, Zach, you've raised your hand to try and get involved there as well. Do you have anything else you want to add to that, or an update this week?
So I believe Rick had said that he wanted to set up some time with myself and Wesley for syncing on it. So I assumed we would do that today, or if you want to do that over the GitHub issue, we can do that as well. Okay, unless so we're going to sync right now, which I didn't expect.
Okay. So I'm just going to note that basically you three are starting to talk and move it forward, which is great, because it would be nice to have something where we can, add in automatic creation of things like the package support info and other things that you're going to need when you want to create a new module. So thanks for working on that. Anything more before we move on to the next issue?
Good.
Okay, the next one, 413, which is suggested list of modules to get help to get support info. Let me open that up. I can't remember if we took some notes on that in there. There was a comment that support info was added to commander.js, which is great. Thank you very much to Shadowspan for that. I think Dominicus, you were checking in Nearform. Any sort of update, or still doing that?
No update just yet, sorry.
Okay. And yeah, I have similar action within the Red Hat and IBM larger community. We did it for the node chip modules, but still pursuing that. So Michael still pursuing.
So I don't think I'm pursuing. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say I'm also pursuing in getting this added, or looking to get this added for one of our bigger open source packages. Talk to it with the team, and then one of the direct owners of that. Where they're looking over the documentation that we wrote up
Okay.
in terms of what it is. So I told him I would love to get his thoughts and ideas about it, getting it added, or if that's what they were looking for doing. But yeah, it's one of the things I brought to on our side. So hoping to get some more, I guess, push around it in terms of just a lot of our open source stuff that we keep moving out. It's our big initiative.
Okay, well, no, thanks a lot for doing that. I think if we all kind of advocate for it in our orgs, we might be able to start getting some momentum, which is good. Thanks. Any other updates before we move on to the next issue? If not, we can move on to suggest ignoring a vulnerability by the package maintainers, 386. Darcy isn't here this week, but I have seen an update that he's actively working to get the collaboration space kicked off. So collaboration space should kick off soon. So I think that's the only update I have on that, unless anybody else has anything else to point out. If not, that actually takes us to the end of our agenda. for this week. I don't know if there's other things that people want to talk about.
I had just one slide. From the
Sure.
last document notes, I had volunteered to add myself, like add to the spec. Forget what the issue or what the thing was. The top of my head. In our previous docs.
Yeah. Last week, you think, or?
I think it was last week. Because that's, yeah, I think that's when we talked about the sync up, right? It was last week or the last meeting.
Okay. So that is no, what was, I'm looking at backwards. That might be the 9th of March.
Okay.
I'm just finding that one, but here, I'll paste it in the chat. Oh, that seems a little, no, that's too far back, isn't it?
Is it the most recent open or the add minutes PR?
Yes, that would make sense. This one.
Yeah, so right there, where it says add a doc in the same place as spec in terms of people orgs have added that. Where in our repo is that location for the doc? Is that under the drafts or is that under? I couldn't quite find it when I was trying to.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking for that doc.
No, you're
same
good.
place as spec, right? Okay. In terms of people. Right. Yeah. Okay. So that is, yeah. So let's just package.
I was starting to look into that, and then I was like, I don't know where that's at. I haven't found it. Couldn't find it.
I wonder if people think about just adding it into the existing package support markdown file versus its separate file.
So the package support.md.
Yeah, that's what I'm just like this one right here.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Maybe add it in there.
I don't know what other people
And
think.
just
Like, does that make sense?
Like towards the bottom of like already adopted packages.
Yeah, exactly. Like a section at the bottom, I think might be a nice.
And we can just always iterate upon it.
Yeah, and that way it's kind of well tied to the spec itself, right?
Yep, I agreed.
That sound good to everybody? I don't hear any concerns. So
sounds good. I apologize. It is lunchtime.
Yeah.
I've been in meetings since 7.
Oh boy, those are always fun. I'll get that.
Any other topics, issues? Anything new on the Webby front, Dominicus, or?
Yes, that's what I'd like to bring up. So I'm doing some work on there. Dominicus is, as we do work, is as with all things, we think more deeply, and we are coming across new possibilities of problems and opportunities in there. And I thank you for that one. I didn't even understand that problem you raised until I read it in the morning rather than in the evening, which I find is a good time to read problems rather than Sunday night. So what are our next steps for that? I mean, we're going to go through adding features.
For Webby overall? Yeah. So I think that existing branch handling issue, it was a blocker in my head for a lot of time, right? I can't find a sane and simple solution to that. And without that, you are pretty much guaranteed that it's going to be very cumbersome to use. Like branches are going to exist. People are going to be kicking off Webby test multiple times. They're not going to bother kicking off Webby clean. So there's multiple paths that I'm thinking about. One is try to get it installed in a couple of places, right? For that, we would then need to simplify Webby clean, so that you don't need to run Webby clean from your local command line to clean up the branches. So we need an action for that. That is one path. And then try it out as is, right? Just, it is what it is. You have to Webby clean after you Webby test, and it's a trial. But at least we get exposure and we get some input, and we try it out. Another path is to actually try to solve this, and I kind of have it solved. just can't put my finger on it and write it down, and it's still a bit blurry in my head. So that's why I'm just thinking out loud in there just yet. But I think that
I added some comments.
The correct approach that I'm thinking is basically, I think that, yeah, I saw your comment. I didn't read through it in detail to analyze it properly. But my current thinking is I'm leaning towards the fact that use cases B and C, specifically linking multiple packages, multiple versions, multiple packages into one Weeby test, because you might be testing multiple related packages with a similar feature that spans them, is valuable. And making changes is also valuable. I think these are very valuable, useful core features that should be there. So I think that they need to be catered for more than the Weeby clean thing. And then, yeah, that basically leads to the path that to rerun Weeby test, then you need to do a commit amend and force push into the branch if there is no change. If there is a change, then it will automatically push, and then that leaves these branches potentially outdated. And we just need to, I think that as a starting point, it's more valuable to have these branches outdated and then try to find some automation to fix that, outdated branch problem. But these features, I feel that they're core from my experience of having a similar tool and just at least how we develop in daily job that I'm doing, right? Where we have, it's not exactly similar tooling, but Weeby is one of the missing pieces that we do need. But we do have some related similar problems that we're solving, and depending on how you structure your repositories, you may experience this more or less. And I find that these features, are kind of critical to have. So solving them in some way would be nice before asking people for more feedback, because that is going to be the first feedback that you're going to get. So
I get it. Yeah.
So
okay.
you may as well. But
we're talking.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, we're talking the repo, because honestly, the first day I didn't, and then I thought, oh, that is a bit of a problem. Yes. But we'll do that in the repo and in the issue. So that's where I'm at, Michael. I'm working with Dominic on Weeby, basically. It's
the issue you were
what you can do.
Mentioning.
So for me, the pandemic and real life a little bit intervened over the past few weeks. So my capacity is a little bit down, but fingers crossed, all tests come back negative. I should be in a better position next week, and maybe we should just jump on a call and try to maybe brainstorm. And so I'm happy to do that as well, if we can find the time for that. Yeah, and then I know your PR is there, so I'll get to it. And
you're talking issue 95. That's just adding it to the minutes here so that people read up on it.
Yeah, this is the issue we're discussing. Yes.
Okay. Sounds
and I think
good.
if we solve that issue, I think then it's a go. That's it. So we either need to build I think we probably need to build a Weeby clean GitHub action extension as well. So I think that handles a Weeby clean comment. And then maybe we can actually basically start using it in real life and see how it behaves and reorient and see how it works. That's my thinking right now.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, sounds good, because that was just good mentioning that there is active work there, so that's great.
And we also need to start planning for the conference talk that was submitted.
Yes. We have 3 weeks until the deadline, so we have one more meetup of this group. So I think we'll need to. Today is the time to actually make some decisions on when are we trying to do what, I think. Yeah.
Right. Is who's I guess it's like who's going to lead the charge is the question there.
Mute.
I guess one thing that might make sense is to start with just like a Google Doc, and we can start adding some questions into it. And then once we've got a few questions in there and we have a plan for what we're going to talk about for 30 minutes, then go from there, because it's a panel talk, isn't it? So we just need some prepped Q&A.
Are we just doing one one 30-minute panel, or were there two? I forgot. Were we discussing two?
I think we submitted two, but I think just the panel got accepted.
I thought you had another one too, Dominicus. I thought, yeah.
Did you get, I mean, who submitted them? Because they should have gotten it. You must have gotten an email then, right? Yeah,
hang on, I submitted that. And I forwarded it to everybody, so hang on.
I got two emails. One was from Glenn and the other one was, but I assume that it's this, I assumed it was the same email.
Yeah, I've got to find it now.
Yeah, I'm on a different laptop, so logging into all accounts. Okay, your submissions was accepted, and this says, dear Glenn, node package here 3, and that's the one. Yeah, so okay.
So, yeah, you have to help me search. I can search my sent box, it'd be smaller than my inbox. What are you searching on? JS Nation? Oh, sorry.
OpenJS World. I have a thank you for submitting, and I have your submission was accepted, but I don't have what actually was submitted.
I'll find it. Hey, I've got it. Well, so we would do exactly what Beth said. I'll take the lead in organizing a document, setting up a document, refinding all the emails and setting this up again. I do have them all. I know it's in my sent folder because I sent it to everybody as soon as I got it. Let me just check. Yes.
Yeah, it's the time sneaks up on you sometimes.
Yep. I found it now. I looked in my out folder for Bethany Griggs because that was a name I could spell everything and easily. Yep. So taken place on June 2nd, and we have access now. And when do we need to finish by? The videos will be due by May the 19th. So that's the date, May the 19th. So I'll kick us off, send some emails out, get some information done, start off a document, put some outline in it that we can critique and change. Sound like a plan? And I'll have to go and look up and see what a moderator does.
The moderator, like having done it, well, I mean, you've probably done it too, right? So you just got to keep the conversation going, know when to switch over to the next question, whatever. So.
Yep.
But.
And it's a pre-recorded one, so we can do another go.
Yeah, you can always edit if you want to, but it's a lot easier to just actually do it once, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm in that chapter. I have never redone a video. Take one.
There you go. It's got to be pretty bad to re-edit it, right? Okay, anything else we should talk about this week?
Rick, I wanted to ask what day would be a good time to set up the sync?
Let me see. I just want to make sure I don't have a lot of conflicts. Honestly, I'm pretty open tomorrow for sure. I'm not sure about Wes. I was hoping he'd be here to account for that. I've got a good understanding from him when we chatted. But he, of course, a lot of this was under his name and started it, and so like he has the finer details he can explain. He is in Slack too, so we could probably. Are you in any of the Are you in the node.js Slack or the OpenJSF Slack server by chance?
No, I'm on none of those. Which one should I join?
Honestly, we were chatting in the OpenJS JSF Slack server initially. We were talking about this, but I mean, you can join both of them. They're both good sources to have, like not just for this working group, but like in general across the OpenJS world. But yeah, we could start up a thing on the OpenJSF one and a three-way DM and just see if we can make it tune. See if we can just go ahead and get that scheduled up. Because yeah, I think he's probably a little busy, or he might be out on vacation. Who knows? Wes is everywhere.
I saw the
He's not
link
online right now,
so I'm joining that right now.
Cool. But yeah, I'm open tomorrow. After about 9:30 Mountain Standard Time for me. So whatever that would be for you, just let me know. Send me an invite. We can get that going, and then we can get you onboarded.
All right, I'll hit you up on Slack. Thanks, Rick.
No problem. Thanks for volunteering help.
Okay, any other things before we close out? If not, thanks for everybody's time, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.